What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Vault. My name is Money, and today is Wednesday, which means it's time for another segment of What Do You Want Wednesdays, where I discuss what you watching at home want to see from Funko. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I just recorded this entire video and forgot to hit record on my camera. So I just talked to nobody for a half hour. So you're going to see me drinking a lot of water because my throat is about to give out. So basically with this video, I'm going to be discussing the comments that you leave on my Instagram as well as other installments of this video. So if you guys want to see me discuss something in particular, make sure you leave me a comment down below letting me know what you want Funko to make. It could be a brand new license that Funko has not picked up yet, or it could be adding on to something that already exists, or I guess anything in between. So for a chance to be featured in an installment here on the channel, make sure you leave me a comment down below letting me know what you want from Funko. So the first comment we have is from G Boats Pop Vinyl, which suggests more Power Rangers and then an ellipses after it. Now, Power Rangers first aired in 1993, which puts the 30th anniversary at 2023, which is crazy. Don't want to think about that because that means that I am just about 30 years old in 2023. I think that it's probably a safe bet to think that Funko would do a big celebration for the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. The 25th anniversary of Power Rangers would have been in 2017, 2018. Funko really wasn't going as ham as they are now back then, so they probably didn't think of doing anything to celebrate that anniversary. But I think that they should. I think that a brand new wave of Power Rangers would be great and I think would be super popular. It'd be awesome to see them go back and do those original characters and maybe do like Chrome or glow-in-the-dark variants to commemorate that anniversary. And Power Rangers has a cult following of people who grew up with the show when they were younger, so why not capitalize on that nostalgia and do more Power Rangers pops? Now, I personally don't know anything about Power Rangers, so I can't comment as to which characters I would want to see, or specifically like which Power Rangers that they maybe haven't done yet. But in general, I think that more Power Rangers pops would be successful for Funko and that they would be kind of stupid not to make them. The next suggestion that we have is Splatoon Funko Pops. Now, a few weeks ago, I discussed Nintendo and why I don't think that a partnership between them and Funko would ever be doable. But I talked about that if they did end up making a deal at some point, that I would like to see the major characters, Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, you know, kind of those heavy hitters. I never really thought about the more like B-tier characters, and that's exactly what Splatoon is, and I think that they would transition beautifully into pops. I loved Splatoon 1 and 2. I used to play it all the time on the Wii U. I think I may have been the only person in my friend group who had a Wii U, so I always played online. And then when Splatoon 2 came out on the Switch, I played that game to death as well. And I'm very excited for Splatoon 3 because I loved the first two so much, and this third one kind of looks like it's going to be more like story-based, which I think is a great direction for the franchise to go. And doing pop figures to kind of correspond with that release would be just like mind-blowing, but I don't think that it's unfortunately going to happen because Funko and Nintendo kind of can't reach a deal. Bloodstruck Drum 19 suggests, I want a big ol' kiss on the cheek. From Slapshot Pops, he suggests we need more Freddies. Amen. Amen, John. I agree. It's been nearly 2 years since we had our last Fun Days, which inherently means that we haven't gotten Freddy's since then. Now, if memory serves me correctly, there were a full set of Freddy Funkos ready to go for Fun Days in 2020, but then, of course, everything got canceled because of what's going on. So those Freddy's have to be somewhere because they never got released. So I wonder that since San Diego got canceled for 2021, if maybe Funko will do something with those to kind of celebrate the convention, maybe do another Tube of Fun or something like that just to get those Freddy's out there. I mean, by the time that 2022 rolls around, a lot of the Freddy's that they made may not be relevant to pop culture anymore because they tend to base them around like what's popular, because they tend to base them around pop culture and like what is relevant at the time. So I would maybe bet that Funko would release some of them for this San Diego just to kind of get them off their hands. And then maybe when San Diego returns next year in 2022, we get a full brand new wave with what's relevant in pop culture. Now, between 2019 and now, a lot has changed. A lot of things have become more popular and Funko has picked up more franchises. I mean, they could easily do a Michael Scott and a Dwight Schrute Freddy Funko. They could do Avengers Endgame themed like Thanos and things like that. Black Widow would have released by then, so we could see maybe Red Guardian, maybe a Shang-Chi version, maybe go back and do like a Doctor Strange version of Freddy Funko. Wild Bread Box, crazy name and I love it, suggests my life as a teenage robot. And I could not be any more happy that somebody has finally suggested My Life as a Teenage Robot, because it was one of my favorite shows growing up. And if they were going to do My Life as a Teenage Robot pops, I would just literally only want Jenny. I don't think that doing a full line of My Life as a Teenage Robot pops would be very popular, but I think that doing it in the same vein as Dexter and Johnny Bravo from the Funko shop last year would probably be the way to do it, because then you don't have all these other side, like B and C tier characters taking up shelf space at Hot Topic and GameStop and then inevitably going into the clearance bin. You know, Jenny's kind of the face of that show. The other characters are kind of forgettable. I mean, I would kind of even argue that My Life as a Teenage Robot as a whole was kind of forgettable. But if they were to do something this niche, just do Jenny. Don't give us a full set. And I mean, make her metallic, obviously. If you're going to do it right. Wasatch Pop suggests Rocket Power Pops. And yeah, I definitely agree. Rocket Power was Nickelodeon, and My Life as a Teenage Robot was Cartoon Network, I think. That feels right. But regardless, they were still around the same time frame, so that's why I wanted to kind of do these together back to back. Now, I just said that Jenny from My Life as a Teenage Robot should be the only pop they do from this license. I think Rocket Power is the inverse, and that they should go ham on that license and do a full set of Rocket Power pops. They should do all the kids, they should do the dad, they should do Tito, and they could do easy variants of all these characters as well. Otto on a skateboard, Otto on a scooter, Otto on a, what else, a rollerblades probably. But I can't think of a lot of other variants other than just kind of like slight pose alterations to these characters that they could do. So I think doing a core set of commons and then maybe doing just a couple exclusives outside of that would be the way to handle it. Clown Prince Dara suggests Ed, Edd n Eddy, More the Warriors, and Sons of Anarchy, Maya's, and a 10-inch Barney flocked. Now, I agree that this is a good suggestion, but I just don't like Barney. Barney scared me when I was a kid, so I never watched it. But if I kind of push that to the side, I definitely do agree with you that Barney would make a great pop, and it would be a very popular pop. Now, a 10-inch would be kind of interesting, and I think it would sell very well, and I most definitely agree with you that a flocked one would be the way to do it, because anything in that blue, purplish, pinkish sort of color range always looks so beautiful, so vibrant as a pop, so I would definitely think that a flocked Barney would follow in those footsteps. Now, would I pick the flocked Barney up? No. Would I pick a Barney up in general? Absolutely not. But in general, I think there are so many fans of Barney out there who loved watching it as a child that it would be insanely popular. So I would imagine at some point that this may actually be something that Funko makes. Over the last few weeks, I have also received a ton of comments about DC. Now, I, admittedly enough, am not all well-versed in DC at all. So I reached out to my cousin DJ, TheWheezeGaming, because he is a huge DC fan and is able to better help me through all of these comments. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and listen to my conversation with my cousin DJ and discuss your DC wants. He's wearing a Batman onesie. DJ, say hello to the people.
What up, people?
And considering that so many people had reached out to me about talking about DC stuff, I felt that it was an injustice. Get it, DJ? Like the video game?
That made me very happy.
To be the only one talking about it. So I figured I would grab a diehard DC fan to talk about your suggestions with me. So from 2 weeks ago, we have a comment from Jesse McDonald, who says that there's one thing that they want to see. It's Funko to make Darkseid pop from the Justice League Snyder Cut. Or if not from the Snyder Cut, then it would be cool to see a comic throwback to him in the comics, because he is an awesome villain, and I think that pop would sell extremely well.
Yeah.
Now, Darkseid is the villain of the Snyder Cut, but only for a brief moment, right? From what I've heard.
So essentially the way they did it in the Snyder Cut is, if you think back to Avengers 1, at the end, they kind of teased Thanos. They showed him, and they were like the whole you can court death scene. Right. So with the Snyder Cut, where they actually had Darkseid appearing multiple times, but it was in that Thanos-like role where he didn't do anything.
Okay. So I'm looking at the pops that they did release for the Snyder Cut. They did a Wonder Woman in a white dress. They did a Darkseid metallic. They did a Superman in a black and white suit and like the generic superhero landing. Like
oh, that's, yeah. Yeah.
They did Dissect.
Assad, yes. Assad, yes.
And then they did a Darkseid in like a throne, kind of like a Thanos type of throne, you know what I mean?
Yep, on Apocalypse, yes.
And then they did a 4-pack of those 4 characters metallic which was exclusive to the Warner Brothers shop. With this new Snyder Cut, they only did for the characters, because for the original movie, they at least did one of each of them. They did Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
And they did like remember the Chrome 3-pack we had from the video that we made?
Yep.
That was a part of that. They did Flash, they did Batman, but they never did any of the other characters. And then they just never, like, the Snyder Cut is just such a small line. You know what? That's what I'm trying to get at
it's
here.
ridiculous,
you know?
because it has such a massive following. This has been building since 2017. This is the most intense internet movement I've dealt with to get something to come out.
And I wonder if maybe, because Jesse was talking about how there's so, like you said, there's more opportunity for more pops from this Snyder Cut. I wonder if maybe because of the embargo that was around this, and that the trailer only came out like what, a month before the movie was released on HBO Max.
They barely did a marketing. So the marketing was crazy in the month, but there was nothing.
But there was no build up to it, right? So I wonder if maybe Funko wasn't given a lot to work with, other than put Superman in the generic landing pose. Here's gonna be Diana in a white dress. You know what I mean? Like, maybe once the movie has been out for a while and gets the run on DVD and stuff, we'll see like a full spoiler fill type of thing, because they do that with Marvel movies. They do like a pre-movie wave, and then after the movie has been out for
relax. We know that they spoiled WandaVision a week prior, and there's nightmare versions of Batman, Superman, Mera, Cyborg, Flash, Deathstroke, and the Joker. That's a massive thing. Like, they brought Jared Leto's Joker back for this,
right,
to film a whole scene with Batman, and it would be an amazing 2-pack.
So to move away from the Snyder Cut a little bit, a lot of people were also suggesting other DC properties in terms of like the Arrowverse, and in terms of like other retro DC things, which I'm very familiar with. So I thought maybe we could talk about that a little bit as well.
On it, let's go.
So I apologize if I'm mispronouncing names. I'm going to do my best here. I have a comment from Shahir Khan, who says, I know this probably isn't going to happen, but I want them to expand on the Gotham show line. One character specifically, Jerome Valeska, would sell very well. They could also even add some older villains to the Flash TV show line, such as Savitar. He would look great as a pop. Now, this is why you're here, because I haven't seen any of this stuff, and they seem very passionate about wanting this. So it seems like it's something that Funko should make.
Yeah. So let's go with Gotham first. Gotham was it started off a little rough for me, I'm not going to lie. Like, I watched the first 2 seasons and then I backed off. But they said they're like, you have to watch Gotham season 3, season 4. It ramps up. So Jerome Valeska is hands down, I'm not even joking, top 3 Jokers for me. Yeah, man.
Oh, it's the kid from Shameless.
Yes. He was amazing.
Got it. Okay. He's very talented. He's extremely talented. Yeah.
Fantastic. They ended up doing the whole twin route, which I didn't really like so much. But they basically gave us 2 versions of the Joker. They gave us the more deranged psychopath version, which was Jerome. And then he had his brother, Jeremiah Valeska, which was more in vein of like the Jack Nicholson, Batman the Animated Series kind, where he's more reserved, but he's like still psychotic.
But still menacing. Yeah.
It's a good 2-pack because it's 2 different types of the Joker.
Now, does Jerome always have, so in his arc in the show, does he have the face mask the whole time?
Jerome it gets the face cut off, and that stays.
But is that the whole that happens during the show, is what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if maybe what they could do with this character for a pop is that maybe have him just the Joker by itself with the weapon or whatever you want to have with him, and then maybe have him have that 1 in 6 rarity chase where he has the stitches on his face.
That'd be cool.
That seems like something that people would be into, you know, in terms of making a collectible figure rather than just making another Joker pop, giving it a little bit of rarity towards a moment of the show that people, judging from your reaction, would love. You know what I mean? Now we're going to talk about a comment from my friend Brooke, who's 95 Pop Snaps, and then Shahir Khan, who we talked about their comment earlier in this video. Brooke says, I've been thinking about some others since your last video, and I definitely think we need some more pops from the DC shows, Arrowverse, such as Supergirl and Black Lightning, who have their own individual pops, just the one character, but they don't have full lines for those shows. Okay. And then also new shows like Batman, Superman, and Lois.
Superman and Lois, yeah.
Really? And Stargirl.
It's crazy to me that Supergirl doesn't have any pops. Like you said she has one of herself. Supergirl has a lot of core Superman villains. Brainiac is in the show. That is a massive Superman villain.
Like I'm looking at Supergirl right now. She was a New York Comic Con exclusive in 2018, shared to Barnes & Noble, now worth $115. And Black Lightning was a show-only exclusive last year to San Diego and was limited to 3,000 pieces.
Black Lightning is a really good show. Like, that astounds me.
They each have their own boxes that say Supergirl or Black Lightning as opposed to, like, you know, just the generic DC type thing, you know?
Okay. But Black Lightning's a great show. Like it's the closest thing we're gonna get until the movie comes out, until like a live action Static Shock. That's the best way I could say it. And it's a really good show. I don't know the ins and outs of the villain, so I'm not gonna act like I know the show, but I think that's a missed opportunity because that's just another line that they could release. It's just more fun, like money they could bring in.
I just want to say also that, like, there's only one Black Lightning pop and it was limited to 3,000 pieces. And if you didn't win the lottery, you did not get it. You know what I mean?
Suits. So Supergirl, like that's easy money. Just
right. So like make a new Black Lightning in a different pose, because that would drive up the rarity on that Black Lightning and that other pose, because people want to have the full set. And then for people who don't want to spend the few $100s on that Black Lightning, then you release a brand new one in a different mold that satisfies that audience. And the same thing with Supergirl. $120 for a Barnes & Noble shared exclusive is ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
But because it's the only one, it drives up the value. So if you were to do a Supergirl line with, let's say, a Supergirl, a variant of Supergirl where she's flying, and then the major villain, right? Then you have a full wave of Supergirl. And that value in that original one goes up for those who collect for value. And then it's easy for people to get their hands on a Supergirl pop who don't want to spend at least $115 on it. DJ, would you like to plug yourself on social media so people can go follow you and see what you do?
Make sure you guys follow TheWheezeGaming on Instagram and YouTube. I'm streaming different games all the time. I post content on Instagram. I do polls now where I'm doing competitions of Nickelodeon versus Nickelodeon.
And I will link all of DJ's stuff down below in the description. DJ, I couldn't have talked about DC without you, so thank you so much for hanging out with me and doing this with me.
See you guys.
So thank you so much, DJ, for all of your help with that. Again, I could not have talked about those topics without you. If you guys enjoyed that conversation between me and DJ, you can watch the entire 45-minute long unedited version of our conversation on the title card of this video. It's going live in tandem with this video. And I hope you guys enjoy all of the unedited goodness of us talking about DC and a bunch of stuff that I don't fully understand. And that concludes this week's installment of What Do You Want Wednesdays, where I discuss your personal want lists. I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. What did you think of this week's suggestions? And more importantly, what do you want to see from Funko? For a chance to be featured in a future installment of this segment, leave me a comment down below letting me know what you want to see from Funko. It could be something that they haven't made yet, a license that maybe Funko hasn't put into production, or maybe they missed your favorite character from a show that they have already made. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.